welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. To another book haul, book haul, book haul, book. These are books I tried to read and just couldn't finish reading them. I'll just do a brief run through. Lent, a fiction book by Jo Walton. Barely got through this one today. Rescued from the library. This was published in 2019 by Macmillan Publishing Group. I was a little disappointed that I didn't like it because look who gave praise for this author, not necessarily this book, N.K. Jemisin, who I love. Let's read the inside cover. Young Girolamo's life is a series of miracles. It's a miracle that he can see demons, plain as day, and that he can cast them out with the force of his will. It's a miracle that he's friends with Pico della Mirandolo, the Count of Concordia. It's a miracle that when Girolamo visits the deathbed of Lorenzo the Magnificent, the dying Medici is wreathed in celestial light, a surprise to everyone, Lorenzo included. It's a miracle when Charles VIII of France invades northern Italy. Girolamo meets him in the field and convinces him not only to spare Florence, but also to protect it. It's a miracle that whenever Girolamo preaches, crowds swoon. It's a miracle that, despite the Pope's determination to bring young Girolamo to heal, he's still on the loose, and now running Florence in all but name. I could not finish. I think I may reread 20 pages of this. Next. Another rescue from the library, Sonia Renee Taylor. I have tried reading Sonia's work, and it's just not the writing that's for me. I think this is a good resource for youth. And I really did skim this to see what Sonia had to say. This book is called The Ultimate Puberty Book for Girls, but anyone who identifies as a girl or AFAB people, celebrate your body and its changes too. This book was published by Rock Ridge Press in 2018. Let's see what this book is about. Growing up great. First things first, you have an awesome body. As you get older, you'll notice changes, and it's only natural to wonder what's going on. This book gives you answers to questions you may have about this exciting journey, along with lots of practical information you'll want to know along the way. Best of all, you'll become an expert on the awesomeness of you. Coming to a Little Free Library, maybe near you. Oh, this book I could not get through. A Finer Future. Rescued from the library as well. Creating an Economy in Service to Life by 4 authors. L. Hunter Levins, Stuart Wallace, Anders Wickman, and John Fullerton. A Report to the Club of Rome. I know I've heard from a friend who is a scholar in agroeconomies or something like this, ecological economies, that this is a book that's cited. I did not like this book because it is all about, well, I didn't finish reading it, but what I didn't appreciate is the authors, who all are 3 white men and 1 white woman, did not once mention the life practices and cosmologies of any indigenous nation that does not or did not originally practice capitalistic economies, and who practice more honorable right relationship with land. And these authors were taking all of the credit for that, which is not great. This book has a good sound. And it was published by New Society Publishers in 2018. And according to the inside cover, it says, "Humanity is in a race with catastrophe. Is the future one of global warming, 65 million migrants fleeing failed states, soaring inequality, and gridlock politics? Or one of empowered entrepreneurs and innovators building a world that works for everyone?" I think that there are more anti-capitalist perspectives than this book offers, and books that are by authors that have been marginalized for too long that we should all be reading more of. That's the 3rd book that I couldn't get through. Still going in a little free library. This one, I also couldn't get through it. Rescued again from the library. Called, oh, there we go. Last Day by Domenica Ruta. I couldn't get through this because the writing was not the quality that I like for a fiction book, and there were some really problematic language that was used to describe some characters. Really lightweight pages, like it feels good to hold these pages, but it didn't feel good to read. And this book was published in 2019 by Penguin Random House. And this, let's see, in Domenica Ruta's profoundly original novel, The End of the World Comes Once a Year. Every May 28th, humanity gathers to anticipate the planet's demise and celebrate as if the day is truly its last. Was not a book for me, but will be in a little free library. Next, this was not for me. Belle, Prater's Boy by Ruth White. It was a Newbery Honors book, and I believe this is for children, or a young youth. Yeah, for children. And I just started to read it and wasn't interested. And this book was published a long time ago in 1996, and it was published by, Who? HarperCollins. Let's see what it's about. Everyone in Coal Station, Virginia has a theory about what happened to Belle Prater, but 12-year-old Gypsy wants the facts, and when her cousin Woodrow, Aunt Belle's son, moves next door, she has her chance. Not for me. This one I really tried, but also not for me. The Book of Joan by Lydia Yuknevich, by Harper Perennial, a paperback, published in 2017. What's it about? In the near future, world wars have transformed the Earth into a battleground. Fleeing the unending violence and the planet's now radioactive surface, humans have regrouped to a mysterious platform known as Ciel, hovering over their erstwhile home. I wish I'd liked this book, but I couldn't finish reading it. Next, we have Nature-Oriented Activities, A Leader's Guide, 4th edition, by the American Camp Association, by Betty van der Smeesen, Oswald H. Goring, and Judy K. Brookhiser. And this was published, also rescued from the library, in 2005. I just didn't, this wasn't as oriented to like the kind of outdoor activities I was hoping for. This is more about, just not something I'm ever interested in teaching, and also not the kind of perspectives I need to be reading at this point in my life, but could have some really good tools for educators. Little Free Library. Almost there. This one I knew I should have picked up, but it was a quick grab in a free pile, called The Touch of Healing, the first guidebook that teaches you this time-honored method of healing, energizing body, mind, and spirit with the art of Jinsenjutsu, by Alice Burmeister with Tom Monty. I'm just not interested in reading books that are not, like if you're gonna talk about a lineage-based practice, but you're not of that lineage and don't acknowledge your positionality, I'm not interested in reading. So let's see, this book was published by Bantam Books in 1997, long time ago. Harmony and health are as close as your fingertips. Jinsenjutsu is an ancient Japanese practice that balances your body's energy by using the fingers and hands to eliminate stress, create emotional equilibrium, relieve pain, and alleviate acute or chronic conditions. Yeah, I didn't really even touch this. I just saw who the authors were and what they wrote about themselves, and I was like, not for me. Little Free Library. This one I tried to read and just didn't get past the first few pages, also rescued from the library. This is called You Didn't Even Try by Philip Whalen. It's a novel. Very old typeface setting, like a typewriter. And it was published by Coyote in 1967. And what's this about? The first quote in the book. The sick and sleepless man, after the dawn of the fresh day, is fain to watch the smoke now from this and then from the other chimney of the tower of his bedchamber, as if willing to borrow from others that sense of a new day, of a discontinuity between the yesterday and the today, which his own sensations had not afforded. S.T. Coleridge, Notebooks, 1811 to 1812. Find this in a little free library. If you want it, I didn't like it. I tried to read this book today. It just was definitely not a book for me. It's called The Witch of Blackbird Pond by Elizabeth George Spear. I also rescued this from the library. And this was published, it's very delicate, in 1958 by Houghton Mifflin Company. I couldn't get past the first few pages. That's not the right book. This says, on a morning in there we go. The back is confusing because there's a different title, but it says, the sunshine and laughter of childhood seemed centuries and worlds away as Kit Tyler viewed the forbidding New England coast. The lovely young woman had been raised amid luxury in the Caribbean, but now she was an orphan, unloved and alone, dependent on relatives she had never seen. And the setting, the time, it starts off right away by saying, on a morning in mid-April 1687. Not interested. Thank you. The final two books I had grabbed for possibilities when I teach teachers how to teach the arts, but I didn't really find anything of use, and they're very outdated and they're just not up to par for me. I think I got these at a university I used to taught at, in a library of a faculty member who had passed away, who the department was letting her books be taken by other faculty. This one is called 75 Creative Ways to Publish Students' Writing. Easy, inexpensive, fun ways to celebrate students' writing by Sherilyn Sunflower for grades 2 to 6. Published by Scholastic. I just found these were not what I was looking for. Not as critical as I needed, not as arts integration-y. Focus on process, not just product. This is published in 1993. It will go in a little free library for someone. And the last book, same thing, from that faculty's bookshelf at a university I used to teach at. It's got good sounds. This also just really was not as critical as I needed it to be, not as focused on process, not thinking beyond the bounds of the box. Very thick though. Good sounds. This is Creative Resources for the Early Childhood Classroom, Instructors Edition, 6th edition by Judy Hare. And this is published by a for-profit curriculum people you should never trust. Publisher, I mean. Like Pearson and them. They're just in it for the money. Judy Hare was the editor or the writer of this book, and this was published originally in 2009, but this edition was published in 2013 by Wadsworth Cengage Learning. Cengage. They make very expensive books that are not accessible. Yeah, this is just not did not fit the bill and would not share this with my students. Alright, there you have it. All of these books will go in little free libraries in case someone else can find benefit to them.